What happens when one of the most prominent, affordable watch brands decides to throw their hat in the ring and get in on the integrated sports watch fun? With the design infused with iconic cues from some of your favorite watches, all at a budget that doesn't break the bank. You get the Citizen Tsuyosa. Budget-conscious enthusiasts are no strangers to Citizen. The Japanese manufacturer is so often the initial gateway drug into watch enthusiasm for many die-hard addicts. In fact, the first watch my wife bought me was a Eco Drive that I wore on our wedding day. While much of Citizen's watches fall into the department store category, there are also models with passionate enthusiast fan bases, such as the ProMaster Diver series. Joining the ranks of celebrated Citizen sports models now is the Citizen Tsuyosa. The Tsuyosa landed in the US market in 2023 and became an instant hit as the integrated sports watch hype seemed to be at a fever pitch. While consumer preferences created an eager market for the Tsuyosa, the product itself had to deliver on what enthusiasts were looking for. The Tsuyosa looks like you took a Rolex Oyster Perpetual dial, threw it in a Rolex Oyster Quartz or Land Dweller case, and slapped a Rolex Day-Date President bracelet on it. And the magnification bubble, of course. And while the various individual design choices feel obviously derivative of one brand, when put together, you're actually left holding a unique product. The 40mm case features hard angles complemented by a mix of brushing and polishing with sharply downturned lugs with a recessed 4 o'clock crown. The Tsuyosa features 50 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, and an exhibition case back providing a view of the caliber 8210 automatic movement. Let's talk highlights. First, I think the Tsuyosa is great value for money. We're talking about a direct Tissot PRX competitor with sapphire glass and an automatic movement, and if we are talking retail price, it undercuts its Swiss counterpart by over $300. Of course, the PRX has double the power reserve and what I think is a more interesting dial with the waffle pattern, but this is getting you at least 90% of the way there for 60% of the price. And while we're talking price, the Tsuyosa can be had for much less than MSRP if you do just a little bit of digging. This one belongs to my brother and it was picked up for $220, and you can find them all day long from $250 to $300. At this price point, you'll be hard pressed to find a more complete package. Second, I actually enjoyed the bracelet a lot, for a few reasons. As someone who gravitates toward the simplicity and comfort of a fully brushed oyster-style bracelet, I found myself appreciating the shorter rounded links with that hit of polishing down the center that really elevated and provided a bit of flash and depth. It's not quite as flashy as a Jubilee-style 5-link, but for me it struck a comfortable middle ground by providing something visually interesting without distracting from what should be the focal point of the wearing experience, the watch itself. The last highlight may be a bit obvious, but the Tsuyosa is incredibly versatile. It's a great daily wear, but also didn't look out of place on my brother's wrist when he got married in it earlier this year. Citizen did not take any aesthetic risks with this watch, and by playing it safe, you have a watch that can be dropped into a variety of situations because it doesn't clash with anything. But did Citizen play it too safe? I could see how amongst a diverse collection, this watch could feel boring and uninspired. Does it borrow too heavily from the crown? Could it have benefited from a more original dial design, maybe with a heavier Citizen-esque design language for the indices? I understand that Citizen wanted to make a mass-appealing product, and what better way to do this than borrow from the most mass-appealing watch products in the industry? Was this the right move by Citizen here? Well, the logical brain says yes, the heart says no. My second, more minor gripe is that the dial just felt flat to me. Maybe this is a product of my own biases based on the design choices I was just talking about, but I mean visually, it just looked flat. The dial felt like it sat close to the flat crystal, and the indices didn't seem to protrude much into the negative space in between. I'm sure the fact this was the white dial version didn't help, and I think opting for a colored dial with the radial sunburst effect would help mitigate this to an extent. But I want depth, I want visually interesting, and it just didn't do that for me. We've already touched on the PRX, so what else is the Tsuyosa competing with? Seiko. The answer is Seiko. The first watch that comes to mind is the Seiko Dress KX. This gray dial SRP E51 also fills that everyday watch niche, and it can be found for right around $200. It does not have a sapphire crystal to match the Citizen, but to compensate, it does offer 100 meters of water resistance, doubling the seaworthiness of the Tsuyosa. I also like that the design language is more uniquely Seiko as opposed to borrowed design, and the dive style with a sloped riot gives this watch a look and feel that resonates more with me. If you're inclined to stray further into Tulier and Tulier Seiko models, you could also consider the SRPD and SSKs for dive style watches in a similar price range. In conclusion, the Citizen Tsuyosa is a great watch. And in a way, it really has the market cornered in terms of automatic integrated sports watches on a budget. The price point makes this a very tempting option for those looking to test the waters on integrated sports models or even just automatic watch ownership. The Tsuyosa would make a great addition to an experienced collector's watch box or be a great beginner purchase that you could feel confident about knowing it's respected by watch enthusiasts, for whatever that means. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons before you go. I would also love to know if you would jump for the Citizen Tsuyosa or if you find one of the alternatives more appealing. So leave a comment below and let me know which one you would go with. Also, check out This on Wrist on TikTok and Instagram. The amount of Instagram followers I have is actually pretty sad, so if you show me some love over there, I would greatly appreciate it. And thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.